So, we have over 1 billion Windows users out there today. And our goal is to give those users the best web experience. To do that, we need to make sure that that experience is fast, is clean, and it also embraces all the standards that are out there and leverage the whole PC to deliver that experience to the user. Let me show you a couple of examples. Here you can see Internet Explorer 9 with my homepage Bing. As you can see, the interface is very clean. It puts the focus onto the website. But if you're like me, that like to work with multiple documents at the same time, and also like to work with multiple websites at the same time, Windows 7 has a great feature that allows you to share the screen between applications. So one thing that I can do is I can take my web browser, move it over to the edge, and I will snap to that edge with Windows 7. And so now you can see that I have another website up here showing me some information about Windows Intune. However, it doesn't solve my problem. I would like to work with 2 different documents at the same time. What Internet Explorer 9 allows me to do is to take that web experience out of the browser box, drag it all over, and snap again in Windows 7. So now I have a very easy way to work with multiple documents. But we're coming back to the fact that we need to put back the focus on the website. And even though I like to work with tabs in the web browser, the most common scenarios for a user is that they actually take and pin their favorite application to the taskbar. So why don't we do that with Internet Explorer 9? So let's grab my favorite website, drag it down to my taskbar, and pin it there. So what happened now is that I promoted my website to become a part of my desktop. And without no knowledge of the website owner, it actually embraces that website. As you clearly can see up here on the left corner, I took the website logo, I took the colors of the website, and I made them shine through my web browser. There's one thing they can do for me, though. If they would like to give me some extra service, because I actually use this website a lot, they can use another feature in Windows 7 that we call jump lists. Jump lists are a way that we can give more intelligence to the right click of the icon on the taskbar. So as you can see, I right-click my Bing websites, and they give me direct entrance to different parts of the site, depending on what kind of information I'm looking for. And this is something that the programmers can do programmatically at any given time. It doesn't have to be there before, or it doesn't have to be there after. But of course, since they like me as a user, they give me that opportunity. And then also, as you can see with our local vendors here, they already start to spin on this and give me some different examples of how I can get the latest news. I can search for companies, see the latest images that are out there, of course, and the gossip. And also even go as far as giving me the opportunity to control my favorite web radio, like Mix Megapol in this case, with a stop and pause button. Lastly, it's all about the experience. We come from text to still images, audio, and movies. It won't stop there. The web is becoming more and more sophisticated. The problem is, with traditional web browsers, when you really turn up the heat, you can see clearly that it's just going to be, the browser itself is going to be the real bottleneck. And the reason for that is basically because the browser is leveraging...
That was one of our competitors running HTML5?
That was one of our competitors running HTML5 with the latest browser that's out there.
Thought I should check.
So to give you a feeling how this looks like in IE9, where we actually unleash the power of the Windows PC, we open up the other 90% of the capacity. You can clearly see when I move up the pressure on the website and fill it with a lot of complexity, it just still is delivering that great experience to the user. So having that said, if you take all this together, how we put the website back in focus, we actually deliver on embracing all the standards that are out there, and we accelerate that by leveraging the whole PC. That is what we mean when we say that we want to bring back the beauty of the web to the user. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. there are two key principles, and they're cloud principles that we showed you in the demo. Principle number one is it's not about separating through a layer like the browser, separating the smart client from the cloud. It's about integrating the smart client with standards from the cloud. So we showed you how to use the full advantage of PC hardware to make things go fast. And it treats applications on the device and websites both as first-class citizens that can be mixed and matched and run concurrently. And we think that is an important part of the way we embrace this boundary between the cloud wants smarter devices. The cloud wants devices like Windows to know about it, to love it, and to treat cloud applications and client applications similarly and both as first-class citizens. And I think by building an Internet Explorer 9 experience that loves the cloud and loves the Windows PC, you start to see the direction in which we're taking that. I also get the chance today to announce a couple of other new cloud services that we're bringing to market, both in beta at this stage, but since I had a chance to talk to you, I wanted to share them with you. One is Windows Intune. Our enterprise customers, particularly one of the key questions we get asked in terms of creating new opportunities, we get asked the question is, will there be services from the cloud that actually just help me manage the device, the PC desktop client as a device? Will that be a service I can get from Microsoft for security, for backup, for roaming, for administration, for policy? And with this Windows Intune service, we will operate for you a service that takes care of all of your Windows devices that comes from the cloud. You still get to decide the key policy parameters, but then after that, we will run essentially your desktop infrastructure for you. The other product we get a chance to announce today is our Dynamics CRM beta of its next release from the cloud. We'll be doing kind of a formal launching of this here in Europe next week, but the Dynamics CRM product has really come a long way. And today, I think most customers will say it is the best way. It's got the best, simplest user interface for customer management on the planet. It's very well integrated with our Microsoft Office infrastructure, and people have just been waiting, when can we get that as a service coming from the cloud? Again, it builds on these principles, new opportunities. It builds on taking advantage of information that lives outside its world. It learns. We've designed it in such a way that customers and trading partners can participate in some of those interactions, which if you think about CRM, that's kind of what it's all about. And of course, it builds on client and on service richness. Be formally announced. Both of these will be formally announced week after next here in Europe. These two services join a whole family of services that cloud services that we have for our business customers. We have, from the one side, software as a service, products, cloud services like Dynamics, our Office Productivity Suite. You'll see us do more and more to enable it as a cloud service. We started with email and collaboration and meetings and unified communications. I talked about Intune and our desktop management capabilities. And of course, from a platform perspective, for those of you who actually want to run your own applications or other applications that have been written and instanced for your business, we have our platform service, Windows Azure with its database capability, SQL Azure. We now have tens of thousands of customers who are using that as infrastructure in their environment. We've announced a new technology we call the Azure Appliance, where we will take literally the physical shipping crates that we use that have hardware storage, networking built in addition to our software. We're going to offer them to our partners and customers so that you can buy, if you will, cloud in a box. We've announced eBay and HP and several others, Dell, as first customers. But no matter how you want that, we're moving the programming model forward. You take your Windows and SQL Server applications, you upgrade them slightly, and you get an application that can be managed at much lower cost, with much better disaster recovery and much better scalability. So all of these things from a business perspective are moving to embrace the cloud. We've had good success in bringing customers with us to the cloud. 50% of the Fortune 500 customers in the US are now using one of the Microsoft Cloud services. The bulk of those customers would be using what we call our business productivity services, Exchange Online, SharePoint Online, Office Online. But we have over 10,000 paying customers for the platform, Windows and SQL Azure. We have a lot of great brands, great company names from around the world. You see some of those here on the slide: Starbucks, Pitney Bowes, 3M, GlaxoSmithKline are all customers who have moved with us to the cloud. The Nobia Group, who build a number of kitchen brands, have moved with us using Microsoft Business Productivity Services, particularly online meetings and unified communications. With Siemens, we've done a lot of work to build device management platforms on our Windows Azure platform in the cloud. So there's a lot of action. This cloud phenomenon is no longer something that is out there in the future. It doesn't mean that I'm going to tell you that every application that every one of you run will be in the cloud tomorrow morning. I'm not going to be quite that crazy, although I'm tempted to be. I'm not going to be quite that crazy. But I am going to tell you, you're no longer amongst the leading edge if you're moving forward to embrace cloud services. This is a phenomenon for the here and now. Unless you have any doubt about that at all, we thought we'd get a few customers up here from Sweden and have a chance to have a little bit of a dialogue.